Is458. I'm Professor Fahmi Jalani. Today we're covering Lecture 5, Strategic Importance of the Web as a Platform. So some of the topics that we'll be looking at will be web services, collective intelligence, peer-to-peer network, social networking. Let's jump straight into it. So the question you should ask, what are they, how, why, the architecture, component security, implementation, some sample. So what is exactly web services? Essentially is to convert an application into a web application. Could be XML, so which is Simple Object Access Protocol, or HTTP. It runs via the network. Services such as JAX, Java, API, XML, and RESTful web services. So why? Basically is to expose existing function in the network. Is managed by HTTP activity, and is to connect to different application, for example VB or .NET, talk to Java services, vice versa. Standard protocol, all 4 layers, service transport, XML, messaging, services, description. Low cost. In implementation, communication such as FTP. Next we have architecture. Here we have the service provider, service requester, registrar, both finding, publishing, and directing by the architecture. 3 major roles described earlier. Web services, layer 1 to 4. What the services you have, WSDL, UDDI, JAX, and HTTP. So we go through into it in depth. For SOAP, it's communication protocol, format to send messages, designed to communicate internet, independent platform language, also to get around firewall. Next we have XML. Basically is describe and locate web services for the WSDL. Next is UDDI, Universal Description Language Integration, directory service, search and register, storage. XML, simple protocol, is more independent, diverse communication, for security, confidentiality, authentication, network security, so the XML and SOAP is primarily top of HTTP, which here we have SSL, secure socket layer. It's quite proven. Most of us doing e-commerce, you see that it's another layer of security. Authentication. Built on top of HTML. It's quite digital signature. OASIS, Organization of Advanced Structured Information Standard, working closely for security needs. And so in terms of having relation with HTTP. Here we have implementation, step 1 to 3. We have both pre and post condition. Let's take a look at the next topic, collective intelligence. Definition: a shared group of intelligence that emerge from collaboration and competition of many individuals. Historically, for example, we have in 1991, William Morton Wheeler observed that working in and working in a group are not individual. Technically, it's a single unit of colony, or you call it a superorganism. So later in 1912, Emily Durkheim identify the source of human logical true statement, because knowledge is from people who are like the ant colony. So essentially, we see today example around the world where the democracy system has enabled individual to have a collective idea through knowledge and discussion, which could reflect in political, could be the network, internet, things like that. Okay, as mentioned earlier, first example, the politics, where collective intelligence, political parties are being elected, views from people to form policies, and a candidate run for election campaign. Next, we have games, for example, multiplayer games such as Mobile Legends, Second Life, Call of Duty, collaboration with individual from different parts of the world in order to achieve the same objective, which is to win. And this are even communicated via voice, for example. The example, Wikipedia, one of the most bad example. Information on the existing page is created where hyperlinks and could be edited for a particular person, place, or anything in the internet. Google, very common. Most search engine and millions of website. Is a good example of collective intelligence. Next, we have Facebook. We are quite it's quite common for us to use this in terms of looking for friends status, posts, story, for example, thoughts, looking for old friends, for example. Okay. And finally, we have Amazon. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. According to him, the internet grows 3,000 times, and you can literally find pretty much most product on the internet, and could be reviews, opinions, suggestion of product, recommendation, things like that. Next, we have principle for collective intelligence, which is openness, peering, sharing, acting globally. Right. Okay, next, take a look at peer-to-peer. So gender, overview, characteristic, unstructured, for example, Napster, Nutella, Kaza. Okay, structured, you have chord, pastry, and can. Okay. Here we have the normal client-server architecture. We have the server and the client, powerful, reliable, using the www HTTP network. Having said that, there's quite limitation in terms of scalability. Technically, a single point of failure, for example, a server failure, require administration, management of the files, the network. Okay. So with P2P, we are able to address this limitation. So what is it? Basically sharing of resources, files, music, videos. Having said that, it's very powerful. And again, there is some infringement, right? So in terms of architecture, all system or PC are categorized as node. It's more democratic, and I mentioned earlier some copyright infringement. Characteristic: server router, most appliant, autonomous, autonomous, very dynamic, collaborate directly, varying capability. Individual could just do a query and you have a list of files and they are able to choose. Benefit: efficient use of resources, scalable, reliable, and no administration. Next we have application. Mentioned earlier, file sharing, Napster, Guatemala, Casa, multiplayer, Unreal, Torment, DOM, Collabority, ICQ, shared whiteboard, distributed competition setting. Some of the popular one: Napster, Guatemala, Casa, large scale file sharing. Okay, then again, copyright infringement. Here we have Napster, basically a way to share music files. So you can send query regarding the files that you require, and you have a list, and from there you keyword and you are able to choose. So next is Guatemala, sharings of peer files, not only music files, could be documents, could be videos. And here we have the example of query of MP3 files. It goes through 6 to 7 layers until they hit the required files. Casa is another popular one. You see this quite likely used on Android devices, Android TV for example. They are free riding technically, downloading, not sharing any interesting data for example. According to the slide, according here, Guatemala is 15% user contributed, 94 content percent, and 64 user find it nothing interesting. Okay, because there are times where you download certain files and it's empty. You see. Anonymity, so user could see their other users' IP address and know from there who are they downloading from. Here we have Freenet. The sequence could be request, reply, or failed request. Structure of it: self-organizing, load balancing, fault tolerance for P2P. Alright, so we'll move on to the last topic, which is the social networking. So pretty much all of us know that what is social networking. Popular one are like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google, right? And today we have Snapchat, TikTok. For example, Facebook, founded by Mark Zuckerberg 2004 in their dorm room, Harvard, MIT. Initially was to just upload photos, status, chat, for example. Today, there's about 1.4 billion active users, 300 million, 350 million photos. Every 60 seconds, there's 23,000, nearly 293,000 people posting on Facebook, and average 15 hours per month time spent. Also, Facebook bought over Instagram and WhatsApp. Next, we have YouTube. Video sharing created by former PayPal employees Chad Hurley, Steve Chen, Jawed Karim in 2005, bought over by Google 2006, based in San Bruno, California. File sharing videos, and first video was Me at the Zoo by Jawed Karim. The site has 800 million monthly unique visitors. On average, users spend 15 minutes for a 900-second video daily. And the first video was Gangnam Style, about 5 in 2012. I bet most of you guys have already watched it, Yoko Gangnam Style. And also we have Twitter, which is an online social network, 140 characters, created by Jack Dorsey in 2006. 500 million tweets a day. Katy Perry was most popular with 51 followers. Ellen DeGeneres retweet in March this year. 70% tweeters are outside US and 35 million are in China. So why is it popular? To meet new people, user friendly, they are free to use and easy to access. Percentage of social network, top 10 engaged countries: Israel, Argentina, Russia, Colombia, Canada, and the States. Some advantages: access all over the world, can contact all old friends, share ideas, social activities, low cost for advertising. Disadvantage: addiction. I believe most of us would be checking status of our friends through, could be IG story, Snapchat, Facebook story, before doing anything, for example sleeping or doing your assignment, work or projects. Okay? And also things like you will encounter social bullying, for example, will lead to mental health. Okay? And less interaction with family members, where most commonly we see families engage on their mobile devices even on the dining table. There are cases where individuals are being stalked through the social network. So technically we have to use it wisely. So that's pretty much it for the class today. If you have any question, please feel free to email me and or drop by my office. Thank you very much and stay safe. Bye bye.